That was their adjustment. That was their magic trick. That was their way of trying to get them to get the bait, and I think they did it too soon. I think they did it too soon.
Hank McCoy.
We'll talk about some specific areas the Suns can improve upon ahead of Game 2, but we'll start with what Frank Vogel had to say at practice today about the Suns' mentality going into Game 2.
Yeah, healthy respect for this basketball team that we're playing. We know that they didn't play their best basketball in our 3 regular season matchups. When we saw that, what they're capable of in Game 1, and but we're still very confident that we can play better than we did in Game 1, and very confident in the matchup.
All right, so they still have confidence. They know they got to make some adjustments. They know they got to play better. Gerald, do you want to start us off? Pick one. We'll go through a few different things, but maybe one that's the top of mind for you.
In terms of adjustments,
Yeah,
I
areas
think
to improve upon, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is figuring out a way to get Devin Booker going. It wasn't just Game 1. He struggled the last 3 times against this team, and we haven't really noticed or drawn attention to it because the first 2 times they were beating the Timberwolves by double digits in both those games. But if you look at it, Book went 5 for 16 in Game 1. I think he was 6 for 16 the last time and 3 for 12 the time before that. So this Timberwolves defense and Jaden McDaniels in particular have really bothered him. They've been able to throw him off. And, you know, as much as Book has talked about not wanting to force it, and if his other teammates are rolling, he's going to make the right play, you need Devin Booker to play well in order to reach your playoff ceiling. So he's got to find a way to get going. And Vogel was not giving us an ounce of information on how they plan on doing that. He was being very tight-lipped about that in terms of how they're going to be creative and how they're going to try and make life easier for Devin Booker. But that's definitely one of the things I'm going to be watching the most in Game 2, because as great as Kevin Durant was, he needs some help. And Devin Booker is the guy most suited to be able to help in that regard.
Yeah, I think mine's even simpler. And you should be able to do it. Make your damn layups. Gerald, you pulled this stat in your article today, but they were 11 of 25 at the rim. 44% at the rim. Make your damn layups, or if you don't have the shot, kick it out to somebody that's got a better look and don't get blocked at the rim. It's that simple. If they clean that up, the other night wasn't a blowout. It would have looked a lot different, and I think that's an easy adjustment you can make.
I agree, and that was kind of like not entirely a full team issue, but many guys on the team were having issues with that the other night as well, and that is not normal. And I hope it doesn't become the norm. Like you said, you just make a few more of those and this thing looks a whole lot different too.
To Gerald's thing too, Devin had a handful of those, which are uncharacteristic for Devin to not convert at the rim as well. And hopefully you have Eric Gordon not drive to the hoop, and that should help clean up a lot of that.
I think the one adjustment I would make is, I said this before with Monty, is like, you got to know who you are and what your strengths are, and you got to stop adjusting to other people's, way of either playing defense against you or their strategies, right? What's the best version of the Phoenix Suns is when they pass the ball a lot, get a lot of assists, and get the ball up from 3 at least 30 times, right? And they got close to 30 last game, but the assists were very, very low. Like they got tricked into going ISO ball a lot. And when everybody else's shot, except for KD's, wasn't falling, they started to panic a little bit. They started rushing things. They started getting out of character, and then it snowballed in the second quarter and third quarter. So they just got to play their version of the best basketball that they can. And then if you lose, you lose. You can live with that. But you got to play up to your own expectations and what you think your strengths are, not get dictated to by the other team, because that's just playing into their hands.
Yeah, I mean, listen, watching the tape as much as I've watched it, I came out feeling a lot more optimistic than people would think. There were a lot of self-inflicted things that I think they can resolve. First thing is pass the ball. That's it. Move the ball. You had 16 assists in that game. You get close to 30. You average 29.3 versus the Timberwolves all season. All of a sudden, you want to change it up. They put the cheese out there, and the mouse went and got it. That's what happened. Now, here's the benefit. If the Suns move the ball and don't fall for the trap, I think we're right back where we were before the series started. I think the Suns are the better team. They got more firepower, and they got more things to rely on than Minnesota. The one benefit, though, that I like is that typically you play game one and then you make the adjustment. Well, because we dominated them so bad in the regular season, they had to go pull the rabbit out the hat in game one. And so I believe that was the adjustment. That was their adjustment. That was their magic trick. That was their way of trying to get them to get the bait, and I think they did it too soon. I think they did it too soon. So, you know what? They got game one. Congratulations. Let's see how game two looks. If the Phoenix Suns move the ball, I think they win this game, no problem.
And what you're talking about is
it's Karl Towns on KD.
Right? And what that wound up doing was kind of leaving Book sitting in a corner, a lot of guys stacked on wide side of the court.
All of them.
Yeah, and that's just not Suns basketball this year.
Yeah, we saw the film. Me and Espo were watching the film before the show. I can point out 20 times where KD got the ball on one side and there's 4 guys out just standing watching. And that's not KD's fault. KD's doing his job, but the rest of the team, we fell for the bait. And so I just don't see them doing that again. And I think the Phoenix Suns have a simple solution. Move the basketball, get that ball popping, make them play defense. You made it really easy on Minnesota on tape. It made it very easy to beat the Suns the other night.
I think that's the disappointing part, is that you just made it much easier for them to be able to defend you.